Alright, here we go with Crota's End, using year 1 weapons and armor. The artifact's the only thing I could really have an impact on, so I took the year 1 ghost, keep my light to 163. Doing striker titan, max agility, the higher jumps for the jump, and shoulder charge, and using might and multi-tool for that extra agility as well. The only really difficulty I had in terms of using the armor is that intellect, discipline, and strength are at really low levels, which was not fun. I was capturing this with the DVR built into the Xbox, so I had to keep stopping, so you'll see a lot of fade in, fade out. Also, I'm not very awesome at the game. Kind of a mediocre player, so I ended up having to rerun a bunch of areas multiple times, such as this intro. So the whole point in the intro is you are kind of cheesing the maze by running past all the thrall. It's actually not as hard as it may look to do. You just have to keep turning whenever a thrall comes straight at you, and they don't end up hurting you very much. But you basically run to the first light, go around the backside of it, and there's this rock. There's 2 ledges, one here, and then you can get on the rock. And you want to get the weight of darkness as soon as it drops off. You want to make your jump. So the timing is really the key thing there. Otherwise, the weight of darkness grabs you in the middle of your jump. I'm switching off shoulder charge now because shoulder charge, the animation that's on the screen ends up making it harder to see the circles. And because you've jumped over the edge of the maze, you kind of screw up the spawns of all the thrall, so you can basically run through the maze with no thrall. Except for the knight. The knight's always going to be there. And occasionally a thrall will come out, but it's only a couple of them. And just like you would do normally with the maze, you're basically staying at each lamp until your weight of darkness is gone. Come up to the top bridge here. Almost fell in that hole. When you get to the last lamp, you're basically stepping on the plate to activate the next phase, and then standing at the lamp to get your weight of darkness down enough to jump on this rock. And you just crouch down in the corner of the rock, otherwise the lamp explosion will kill you. Switching over to Galahorn, year 1 as well, and dropping heavy ammo synth to take out the ogre. And you'll see, just as I switch and get my ammo ready, I'm starting to get hit by the ogre. Only 1 ogre spawns in normal mode, so it's not too bad. And as long as you don't shoot any of the thrall, they don't jump up at you. And switching my shoulder charge back on, and my jumps back to increased control. And putting the Mighty back on just for the extra running ability. Not that you really need it, but every little bit helps. It takes forever, but eventually the bridge does form. There's a lot of waiting. Again, if you shoot any of the thrall, they're going to start attacking you, so as long as you don't shoot the thrall, you're good to go. And as soon as the bridge starts to form, the weight of darkness goes away, so you can immediately start running. spawn in with the bridge, and you can see here as I fade out to the next recording, I've switched off the Mida, and I've actually switched over to Defender because of the sticky grenade. Don't actually use the super very much, but sticky grenade is helpful, as is the overshield you get from the melee. And basically you're just stepping on the bridge, the plate, until it says Annihilator Totem, then you're immediately stepping off the plate, and then you can step back on almost right away. And what's happening is the bridge is forming in those little moments when you're on the plate. And if you just time it right, you'll get a bridge is formed message. There we are. And you gotta get that sword as quick as possible. Find the sword there. Again, Gallahorn. And the grenade will do it. And then you'll have part of the bridge, which should give you enough height to get across with some sword swipes. This guy isn't even standing up yet, so it's awesome. I usually cheese this by sitting behind the cover right at the bridge entrance, but I decided to go for it this time, and it worked out. So as you come to this right side, you don't get any wizards spawning. And you can see my aim is terrible. Definitely notice a huge difference in the weapons, dropping down to the 160 light. 160s. I'm really just biding my time until the ogres come. Basically, you just have to kill both of the ogres. An ogre will spawn on each side. Once you kill the ogres, the encounter is over, and all the rest of the enemies will disappear. So I'm really just shooting acolytes and thrall. Getting kills to just get my super up quicker, since it's the full 5 minutes, or 4 minutes and 49 seconds, because my intellect is so low. And here comes the ogre. It's again with the Gallahorn. Now I'm only going to use 2 shots because I want to save the other 3 for the other ogre, and I know the other ogre I'm going to be facing off with all the other enemies, so I want to be able to take them out completely with the Gallahorn. They totally whiff that grenade, but once you get the ogre in that red rage chasing after you, he doesn't shoot, so that's helpful. If it gets close enough, he'll stomp on you though. And now I'm just using weapons of light to try and take out this ogre with all 3, or with just the 3 Gallahorn shots. Shield is also helping protect from the wizard while that's going on. And as you can see here, I almost totally lose it because I land right in the middle of a bunch of thrall. I'm able to get that last Gallahorn shot off. Luckily the Curse of Thrall doesn't blow me up. And once that ogre's down, everybody disappears. I'm searching recordings here, and also blanking out while I'm waiting for my super to regenerate, and special ammo, heavy ammo synthesis. This is very easy hallway, normal mode, much harder on hard mode, but you're basically just going to kill thralls in the entrance here, and then take out one of the shriekers, go down the hall, take out the second shrieker, and make a run for it. As a defender titan, you can get your overshield by doing a melee, same thing with the warlock, so you'll be there. Which helps you not get killed by the first shrieker. And then I could have dropped a bubble if I wanted to get Blessings of Light to keep that going, but since my health was high enough, I just ran for it. Of course, the thrall right in the entrance there. But we make it. I have had the Shrieker's Axion Bolts actually chase me down in here before, so when you get down, you might want to run forward a little just in case. Alright, so again, waiting for my super to come back up, I switched back to Striker Titan just for the extra mobility. And you basically come into the corner of the entrance here, and you can get straight up to the side. You've got about a 3-minute time before the singer sings her song and you're dead. So basically you just enter the room. I always pick the right side first. You're facing it from Crota's area. Come back up to the entrance. You going in that room brings out the wizard. You gotta kill the wizard before you can kill the Shrieker. Using a Vision of Confluence for my primary. Does nice solar damage. Really the trick here is to not die, because the majority of knights and acolytes are on this side. So you want to try and get in now as quick as possible. Again, I get almost dead. Really bad use of my space here, but I'm able to get out and use shoulder charge to redirect and not get killed, luckily. So take out the Shrieker. You have to get out quick anyways, even if there weren't enemies there, because the Shrieker's Axiom bolts will chase you out. And same thing for the left side. We're gonna pop in just so the wizard comes and chases you. And then once wizard is down, you're gonna run in and take out the Shrieker. Thought I had shoulder charge for a second there, I did not. Again, almost dying from all the shooting enemies. A little easier with the team because you can have people taking out the shooting acolytes and knights while someone else takes out the Shrieker. And now we're gonna go for the kill. So I've got 4 Gallahorn shots left, plus my slam, plus a grenade, 2 grenades, although I waste one here and I waste some time and some ammo. Terrible sniper shots, trying to take out some of the shooters. And then just decide, go for it. So I'll place a grenade at her feet, then slam her. And then let the Gallahorn do the rest. You can see, just managed to get out without dying somehow. And I'm going back in to check because I didn't know whether or not I killed her. I fired that second Gallahorn shot and then just ran, because I knew I was going to be dead otherwise. Once she's dead and doesn't sing her song, you actually have to kill the majority of the yellow bar knights before the encounter switches to the last. So I'll fast forward through that, because there's 30 some odd hallowed knights and a bunch of acolytes. I shoot acolytes too, even though you don't really need to. You just need to kill the yellow bar knights, the hallowed knights. And once you get enough of those kills, the encounter will end and you can start in the next room. You know it ends when you get your rewards. And of course you run around the room. And there's our boy Crota. And I switched over to the fusion rifle. I thought it would actually be have a little more impact than it did, so did not though. I should have stuck with the black hammer for this encounter. You don't regenerate health until you go out and get the chalice, so it's not too bad. But the knights will charge in after you if you're not shooting them, so you got to be careful about that. And of course the fusion doesn't do enough damage to get them to die or go away, so I end up almost tanking here. And the knights come in. And again, my shots are terrible. This fusion does not have great range, but Vision of Confluence does the job. One thing I will say about the year 1 stuff is the weapons had some really nice perks on them. This full auto scout was great. It was great. Black hammer was great. It's like Black Spindle, but it was a legendary, so that was awesome about it. And the armor really gave you a lot of ammo perks. The ammo perks were fantastic. It felt like year one, the raid gear was really the top tier gear, whereas with Taken King, you know, I got the raid gear, full set of raid gear, and I only wore it once for the raid because my regular gear actually did better in terms of perk rolls. So once you clear that room, you want to clear out all the enemies out, otherwise they're going to stand on the outside and shoot at you. Go to the center and get the chalice, gives you your health regen. You just pop back, wait for the sword bearer. Clear out a few of the ads, and the sword bearer, you got to shoot him a few times to get him to come up and chase you. With the year 2 and year 3 weapons and armor, going out in the center to get the sword bearer was no problem, but in year 1, definitely stuck in the back. You can see I totally whiffed the sword this time. However, I do notice that even though I'm swiping instead of doing the slam with the sword, I actually do quite a bit of damage. And then of course I miss my slam completely. So even the year 1 Galahorn, 2 shots with the Galahorn will make Crota crouch down. I would stick with the center platform. I've noticed anytime I go on the top level there, Crota gets very aggressive, so shooting him from the side seems to be the best like that. I will say that sometimes the 2 Galahorn shots wouldn't drop him. I don't know why. Sometimes be the same exact situation where it zoomed in on his face, 2 shots, and he doesn't go down to his knee. And sometimes he does. So Crota's real wonky like that. I also, on this side platform, I have been able to take him out from the side as well with the sword. However, again, he gets really aggressive once you get on the platform with him. So more times than not, he'll leap forward and swipe you. And I'm basically just shooting Crota for fun to see how much of his health, his shield I can take away with the Vision of Confluence, and it's, you know, down to almost a third with just this scout rifle. So I can imagine with a couple of them, you could probably take his shield down that way. Also trying to keep him backed off from that edge because I've jumped up in the air and been sword swiped. Again, I wait for him to start walking back before shooting the sword bearer to get the sword bearer to come chase you. When you're down in that pit, as long as you're not shooting the sword bearer, you shouldn't come down. Again, second sword, here we go. This time I actually get the swipes right. You gotta pick up that sword and get there as quick as possible. You can get 3 swipes in, but every time I get 3, not every time, but majority of the times when I get 3, Crota stands up and kills you with his sword. So I decided to go the safe route, and now after 2 swords or two sword bearers coming out, there will be ogres spawning. So at 2 and 4, ogres will spawn. Got him down low enough that I think 2 more sword swipes I can take him out. So we're gonna go ahead and bide our time with the ogres. Just waiting for those ogres to spawn. They come out at the same time, but the left one reaches you first. Gonna drop a bubble with blessings because you're gonna be in the range of both ogres. So I know I'm gonna take some damage from ogre number 2 here in a second. And 3 Galahorns. 4 Galahorns, excuse me, to take out the ogre. I'm gonna come into this back room. Luckily no enemies spawn here. The radar is just showing that there's enemies above me right now. See, I'm a terrible sniper shot. I missed a bunch of my crits. There's Crota walking back. So here's where the timing of this engagement. If I had taken the ogre out already and got back to the center, I could do a sword bearer and take Crota, try to take my 3rd shot at Crota. But you know, I got to pause the game so I can pause the the DVR and whatnot, and by the time I get done doing that and grabbing my heavy ammo synth, Crota's ready to walk around again. So unfortunately we're gonna wait it out again. Every time I do that side platform, it's kind of a hit or miss whether or not Crota's gonna meet forward and sword swipe you before you're able to take him down with your rockets. Again, I'm just trying to back him off from that corner a little bit. And so seeing him walk back, it's time to get the sword bearer to come down. And of course he's hiding behind a rock, so you got to try and get his attention. Get him to chase you. Here you can see I totally misgauged the timing of my throw, so I end up getting swiped. Almost get killed. Luckily misses that one. As soon as that second Gallahorn shot goes off, you should be picking up your sword to do the jump. That's it. There's Crota with your 1 weapons and armor. Definitely harder than I thought it was going to be. Definitely very rewarding to do though.